Imagine you're walking down a path, but with the fear of being abducted at any second and then being brutally murdered. Imagine a child going to a local clown show, or some guy enrolling himself for a construction business, but disappearing mysteriously and then being found 6 years later in a random guy's basement. Imagine someone has a minor cold. He goes to the hospital, but is proclaimed dead mysteriously. Alright, hello there. Welcome back to the Kale10 Talks channel. Hope you are doing well. If it's not welcome back for you, feel free to subscribe if you fancy with notifications on. If you have a daring heart, if you have a soul made of steel, then do commence with this video. For the news that I'm going to be sharing with you will haunt you for the rest of your life. Today, we are going to be discussing the most dangerous serial killers of all time. But not just any serial killers. The serial killers who have committed the most gruesome crimes that you can ever imagine. From a doctor killing his patients to a man bathing in blood. Don't believe me? Let's start the video. Dr. Death, Harold Shipman, who killed 218 patients.
One of history's deadliest serial killers was a married family man who managed to squeeze in 218 credited murders while working as a popular British physician. Harold Shipman began his murderous spree in 1972, and it is believed that he killed at least 71 patients while working at his first practice and doubled that number at a second practice. He joined after butting heads with colleagues who found him arrogant, brusque, and overconfident. Finally, in 1998, both a local undertaker and another doctor noticed the unusually high number of cremation certificates Shipman had signed off on. They also noticed striking similarities in the recently deceased patients themselves. The majority were elderly women who were found sitting up and fully clothed, not in bed as would usually be the case with the gravely ill. Despite these clues, the initial investigation was shoddily handled, allowing Shipman to kill 3 more times. Shipman's luck ran out later that year when the daughter of his final victim, Laura Kathleen Grundy, claimed he had not only killed her mother but had also tried to create a new, fake will naming him as her sole beneficiary. Unlike his earlier victims, Grundy had not been cremated, and an autopsy revealed lethally high levels of diamorphine, the drug Shipman used for most of his killings. He was formally charged with 15 murders and was convicted and sentenced to life without parole in 2000. Shipman died in 2004 after committing suicide in his cell. He never admitted to any of the killings.
Belle Gunness. She married to kill.
The woman who became known as the Lady Bluebeard immigrated to America from Norway in 1881, settling in Chicago where she married a fellow Norwegian immigrant. The couple had 4 children, 2 of whom died young, and ran a candy store. By 1900, the store had mysteriously burned down and Gunness's husband was dead. Although both happened under suspicious circumstances, Gunness was able to collect multiple insurance policy payouts, allowing her to purchase a farm in LaPorte, Indiana. She quickly remarried, and just 8 months later, her second husband died. Gunness claimed that he had received a fatal burn from the scalding water and had been hit in the head by a heavy meat grinder. While an inquest was held, no proof of the foul play could be produced, leading to another hefty insurance payout. She then began placing newspaper advertisements in search of a third husband, with the requirement that potential suitors had to visit her Indiana farm. Several prospective suitors made the trek, only to disappear forever. Just one made it out alive, after reportedly waking up to see a sinister looking Guinness standing over him. Nobody knows for certain just how many people Belle Guinness murdered, but it seems she herself met a grisly end. In February 9, 1908, a fire devastated the farm. Amongst the wreckage were the bodies of Guinness's remaining children and the decapitated corpse of a woman. Although officials identified the remains as Guinness's, doubt quickly spread as the body was much smaller than the tall, heavy-set Belle. The search for her missing head, which never turned up, led to the gruesome discovery of almost a dozen bodies, including the missing suitors and several children. Ray Lamphere, a former farmhand that she had fired a few years earlier and later claimed was threatening her life, was arrested and tried for the crime, but was only convicted of arson. Belle's true fate remains unknown, although unverified sightings continued for decades after her death.
Ed Gein, the inspiration behind Psycho.
The man whose macabre and horrific acts helped inspire Psycho, Silence of the Lambs, and the Texas Chainsaw Massacre grew up in an isolated area of Wisconsin. He was an abused child of an alcoholic father and a puritanical and domineering mother who instilled in her son a pathological fear of both women and sex. When his father, brother, and mother died within a 5-year period, he was left alone at the family farm, where he eventually cordoned off parts of the house, turning it into a shrine to his mother. 13 years later, local police arrived at the farm, following up on a tip regarding missing hardware store owner Bernice Warden. They discovered Warden's headless corpse hanging upside down from the rafters. Their search of the property revealed a haul of horrors that included human body parts turned into household items such as chairs and bowls, faces used as wall hangings, and a vest made of a human torso. Many of these gruesome items were from already dead bodies that Gein had stolen from their graves. But he had murdered one another woman in addition to Warden. He claimed that he was using the body parts to assemble a new version of his beloved mother. Gein was diagnosed with schizophrenia and declared unfit for trial. A decade later, he was convicted of one of the murders but was declared insane at the time of the crime. He spent the rest of his life in a mental hospital.
So guys, that is it for the video. I'm sure you must be wondering, well KL10, there must be more. Well, I can assure you there are more, but that is another video. It is it for today. I hope you liked the video, and guys, if you found this haunting video informative in any possible way, be sure to give it a thumbs up and subscribe, as I always say. Share it with your friends, family, everyone. Support this channel guys, and I've got some awesome banging content just for you guys. Until then, thank you, stay safe, goodbye.